Welcome to the 27th Pulaski Day celebrations and the 26th held in the Sabina Pilogish Great Hall. As a historian, I am a follower of dates and anniversaries, and as a Polish American and a Chicagoan, I know there are many. This year, Poland commemorates the 150th anniversary of the January Uprising, the last of a series of unsuccessful revolts against the partitioning powers that was started by the Pulaski family in the unsuccessful Bar Confederacy of 1768, which led to General Pulaski coming here to the United States. Those who managed to escape Tsarist captivity after the 1863 uprising by fleeing to Europe, such as Anton Giller, were instrumental in establishing the Polish-American fraternals that are the mainstay of our Polish-American community. As an American, I know we are commemorating the sesquicentennial of our Civil War. In July, we will remember the bloody Battle of Gettysburg. There, the 58th New York Infantry, under the command of Colonel Włodzimierz Krzyżanowski and other Union regiments, guaranteed that the North would win the war and put the 13th Amendment into effect. On other fronts, the 3rd U.S. Colored Cavalry, one of whose squadron was commanded by Captain Piotr Kiełbasa, was also fighting for the same cause. Kiełbasa, a Polish Texan, would eventually come to Chicago and help establish the first Polish parish at St. Stanislaus Kostka, help form the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, the oldest Polish-American fraternal, become the first Polish alderman of Chicago, and later city treasurer. In that position, he came up with the novel idea of turning over interest earned by the city funds over to the city. Prior to that, the treasurer had taken the money for himself. The Chicago Tribune endorsed this Civil War veteran with the title of Honest Pete. In 1893, 120 years ago, Honest Pete might have hosted piano virtuoso Ignacy Jan Paderewski and famed stage actress Helena Modrzejewska, who came here to participate in the Columbian Exposition. 100 years ago, this building was dedicated and opened as the headquarters of the Polish Roman Catholic Union and eventually the site of the Polish Museum of America. 80 years ago, the city of Chicago, in the midst of the Great Depression, organized the Century of Progress Fair. While the Polish community was not able to sponsor a pavilion, they did host a week of hospitality and also unveiled the Batowski painting, Pulaski at Savannah, which was later purchased by the Polish Women's Alliance and placed in the Polish Museum. Once again, thank you, ladies. This year, the PMA begins its 76th year of service to the various communities, our neighborhood, the city, county, and state, and the nation, and Polonia, that diaspora in the United States. We have increased our cooperation with Poland and Polish organizations throughout the world. With your help, and I don't only mean private individuals and institutions, but also those levels of government to which Polish Americans pay taxes, so we can get our fair share back. We look forward to beginning the sprint to the PMA's 100th anniversary. Szanowni Państwo, dzień dobry i witam na 27. obchodach Dnia Pulaskiego i 26. w tej sali, którą obecnie nazywamy Wielka Sala imienia pani Sabiny Logisz. Jako historyk zwracam uwagę na daty i rocznice. Robię to jako Polak, Amerykanin polskiego pochodzenia i obywatel miasta Chicago. W tym roku w Polsce obchodzimy 150. rocznicę powstania styczniowego, ostatni z serii powstań, które zostały stłumione przez zaborców. Pierwszy z nich to Konfederacja Barska, w którym rodzina Pulaskich miała wielki wpływ, a młody Kazimierz był dowódcą. Wśród uczestników nieudanego powstania styczniowego byli tacy jak Antoni Giller, którzy dali hasło, aby Polonia w Ameryce tworzyła silne organizacje bratnie pomocy, aby gromadzić Polaków w Ameryce i nieść pomoc Polsce. Jako Amerykanin wiem, że obchodzimy 150. rocznicę wojny domowej. W lipcu będziemy pamiętali tą krwawą bitwę pod Gettysburg, gdzie brygada wojsk unijnych dowodzona przez pułkownika Włodzimierza Krzyżanowskiego wstrzymała atak południowych sił i dała gwarancję, że siły federalne zwyciężą, kraj będzie pojednony i 13. poprawka do Konstytucji zostanie przyjęta. Na innym froncie 3. Pułk Murzyńskiej Kawalerii, gdzie dowódca z jednego ze szwadronów jest kapitan Piotr Kiełbasa, walczy za tą samą sprawę. Kiełbasa, Ślązak z Teksasu, po zakończeniu wojny przeprowadza się do Chicago, gdzie jest czynny w założeniu pierwszej polskiej parafii świętego Stanisława Kostki. Jest jeden z organizatorów Zjednoczenia Polsko-Rzymskokatolickiego, najstarsza organizacja, która w tym roku obchodzi swoje 140-lecie. Zostaje pierwszym polskim aldermanem, a później skarbnikiem miasta. Jako świeży pomysł jest, żeby wszystkie procenty zdobyte przez miasto zostały przekazane do skarbu miasta. Przedtem skarbnik brał pieniądze dla siebie. Chicago Tribune poparło kadencję tego weterana wojny domowej, nazywając go uczciwym Piotrem, Honest Pete. W 1893 roku, 120 lat temu, Honest Pete mógł gościć mistrza Ignaca Jana Paderewskiego i słynną aktorkę polską i amerykańską Helenę Modrzejewską, kiedy przyjechali, aby brać udział w wielkiej wystawie międzynarodowej Columbian Exposition. 100 lat temu Zjednoczenie Polsko-Rzymskokatolickie otworzyło ten gmach, ten budynek jako swoją siedzibę. I później Muzeum Polski został też tutaj otwarty. Społeczność polonijna nie była na tyle, bo 80 lat temu miasto Chicago w czasie Wielkiej Depresji Ekonomicznej organizuje wystawę międzynarodową pod hasłem 100 lat postępu, A Century of Progress. Społeczność polonijna nie była na tyle bogata, aby mieć własny pawilon, ale zorganizowała Polski Tydzień i zafundowała ten obraz Batowskiego Pulaski pod Sawanną. On później został zakupiony przez Związek Polek i przekazany do tej instytucji w 1941 roku. Panie, jeszcze raz dziękujemy Wam za ten hojny dar. W tym roku Muzeum Polskie w Ameryce zaczyna swoją 76. rocznicę działania dla tej dzielnicy, dla miasta, powiatu, stanu, kraju i dla Polonii. Współpracujemy z Polską i z Polonią na całym świecie. Z Waszą pomocą, i tu mam na myśli nie tylko prywatne osoby i instytucje, ale władze rządowe na wszystkich szczeblach, gdzie Amerykanie polskiego pochodzenia płacą podatki i nasze polonijne instytucje powinny otrzymać poparcie naszych władz. Zapraszam wszystkich, aby brać udział w naszym biegu do stulecia. Dziękuję. Before I introduce Mr. Drobot, we are pleased to announce that CAN TV is covering today's program live on Chicago Cable Channel 27 and online. CAN TV brings you coverage of local relevant issues throughout Chicago that you won't find on any other station. You can watch this and other timely local programs by going to cantv.org/watch. So if you have friends who are at home, tell them that they can see the proceedings. I would now like to introduce the chairman of the board of the Polish Museum of America and the president of the Polish Roman Catholic Union, Mr. Drobot.
Thank you, Mr. Lorysz. Welcome to everyone here, especially to the dignitaries and to the Reverend Fathers that are also here. To move along, I would like to introduce Mrs. Czeszla, who is the president of the Polish Museum of America.
Thank you, Mr. Lorysz and Mr. Drobot. We'll move on.
Good. I would ask now the Most Reverend Andrew Vippick, Auxiliary Bishop of the Archdiocese of Chicago, to produce the invocation for us. Bishop Vippick.
Thank you. Before I do that, though, I am so proud today, and I'm also proud of you, because here today we see the whole humanity almost in all capacities of their jobs. We see the clergy here, we see politicians, we see all veterans represented. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud of you that you found the time and you care, and also you continue caring for the ideals that freedom is so dear to all of us, and Pulaski obviously was a champion of it, not only for Poland, but also for the United States of America. What a great example of Polish spirit that could add to the common good of this great country and nation. So I pray in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. O Lord our God, you alone are the most holy. We forever offer our prayers and always give you praise and glory. We adore you. We give you thanks for your gift of love to us, your children, as expressed in Jesus the Christ, the Anointed One. We come together as this great Casimir Pulaski Day to remember and honor him and the people of the past who added to the common good of our society. We remember General Pulaski for his heroic stand for human freedom and liberty in both Poland and the American colonies, even to his death. We learn from his example and others like him that freedom is the most precious and worth even the ultimate sacrifice. Be present among us, O Lord, this day, and install in us the zeal to follow you as we work for the good of our country and our society. Soften our hearts and give us ears to hear the call to protect freedom, beginning with the freedom of our conscience and our beliefs, so we may freely express ourselves in your divine presence. We know that only through the work we do together with the example of General Pulaski and people of goodwill, we may build a better place for ourselves and the generations to come. And I ask this in the name of the Lord. Dziś szczególnie wspominamy bohaterską postawę generała Pulaskiego w walce o wolność ludzi, jego przelaną krew i śmierć, którą poniósł w walce o tą wolność. Chcemy, aby chwalebny przykład tegoż ojca amerykańskiej kawalerii oraz przykład wielu innych bohaterów jemu podobnych był dla nas lekcją przyswajania sobie prawdy, że wolność ludzkiej osoby, tak drogocenna w swojej istocie, warta jest poświęcenia swojego życia w jej obronie. Bądź z nami, o Panie, tego poranka i pomóż nam, abyśmy ochotnie naśladowali te dobre przykłady ludzi, którzy oddając swe życie za wolność innych ludzi, są dla nas drogowskazem w czynieniu dobra dla naszego kraju i naszej rodziny ludzkiej. Proszę o to przez Chrystusa Pana naszego.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I would like to call forward our soloist for today's observance, Alexandra Krzyżydłowska, who is a senior at Loyola Academy in Wilmette, and she will be accompanied by Piotr Dimon, who is the organist and choir director at St. William Parish in Chicago. Alexandra, and everyone please stand.
Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, kiedy my żyjemy. Co nam obca przemoc wzięła, szablą odbierzemy. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, strzemi boski do Polski, za
Loyola, huh? Very good.
Now, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our first dignitary this morning, the Mayor of Chicago, who is no stranger to the Polish Museum of America. He was here as a representative from his district. He is very busy because I understand today is also the birthday of the city of Chicago. So I'm going to ask the Honorable Mayor Rahm Emanuel to say a few words to us, please.
If you're a congressman from the north side, you'll understand why. Dzień dobry. So it's good to see you. There's actually a funny little, no, not funny, but an interesting story. When I was with the president, we were in Europe, and he was visiting a hospital with soldiers both from Iraq and Afghanistan and Germany. And there was a Polish soldier. So he says, does anybody know anything? And I said, well, just say Dzień dobry. And this young man, because he was going to give him a medal, the president walked in and said Dzień dobry, and this huge smile came on his face. And it was a way of obviously commemorating what I want to also say, because as Congress deals with immigration reform in a comprehensive way, when it comes to Polish and Poland's contribution, you'd never treat a first-class friend like a second-class citizen. And I want to commemorate that day. As hopefully we deal with this visa waiver issue. But I do think, and I want to pick up right where the President had noted, and that is, it is not an accident that both on Pulaski Day and the day in which we also celebrate Chicago's 176-year history, that those 2 days occur, those 2 moments occur on the same week. And I'll be going to a series of celebrations for Chicago because the connection between the roots of Polish Americans here in the city of Chicago and the history of the city of Chicago are intertwined, and they are one. And while we are a city known as a city of big shoulders, it is built on the shoulders of immigrants. Whether those are immigrants from Mexico or the Mideast, from Poland or Peru, from obviously Ireland or India. This city, the most American of American cities, is a city of immigrants who continue to come to this country to make sure that their children and future generations have a chance at a dream, and the American dream, and have a chance at a future they could not do any other way. And so I want to commemorate, honor this great day, Pulaski Day. I just came, actually, the reason I was late, because I stopped by a Pulaski school to see the kids who are actually doing an international baccalaureate education there. But I wanted to stop there to see also, to make sure as our curriculum on this day is commemorating and kids are learning about Pulaski, the pioneer of the American cavalry, in making sure our curriculum is complete with all the contributions of everybody. So I want, well, thank you. I also want to thank this museum for being a vital part of Chicago's cultural life, whether it's shows and art shows, also movies and other contributions that they have always made. It is remembering each part that makes this great mosaic, the city of Chicago, so rich, is that everybody can participate and remember our great history, but also remember their own history as a contribution in writing the chapters of the city of Chicago and its history. So thank you very much, and may we always celebrate for the next 176 years a great intertwining between the Polish contribution to the history of the city of Chicago. Thank you.
I know the mayor is keeping a very busy schedule. I think it would be appropriate for us to sing 100 lat as an anniversary celebration for the city of Chicago. We please stand and sing 100 lat for the city of Chicago. Ready? 100 lat, niech żyje, żyje nam. 100 lat, niech żyje, żyje nam. Jeszcze raz, niech żyje nam, niech żyje nam. Happy birthday, Chicago. Yes. We have a wonderful friend. The Polish people have a wonderful friend in Washington that is promoting the visa waiver bill. And unfortunately, in fact, it was introduced here 2 years ago. Unfortunately, Senator Kirk is recovering from a very serious illness. He has a representative here to suggest a few words to us as far as the senator is concerned. We wish the senator well. Mr. Johnson, please.
Thank you. So I'd like to read a letter on behalf of Senator Kirk, if that's all right. Dear friends, as your junior senator from Illinois, I wish to commemorate Revolutionary War hero General Kazimierz Pulaski in celebrating the day of his birth on March 6th and remembering his sacrifice for the sake of our nation's freedom. Kazimierz Pulaski is both a Polish and American patriot who, at Benjamin Franklin's behest, came to this country in order to fight in America's War of Independence. Known as the father of American cavalry, Pulaski played an integral role in providing American forces with vital training and leadership to effectively combat the British. Pulaski's unwavering determination was evidenced in a letter to George Washington where he wrote, "I came here where freedom is being defended, to serve it, and to live it or die for it." In 1779, Kazimierz Pulaski gave his life for liberty while leading a charge during the Battle of Savannah. He was only 34 years old. Throughout our nation's history, Poles have made significant contributions in making the United States the great Poles have made their significant contributions in making the United States the great nation it is today. Poland remains a very strong U.S. ally and has contributed greatly to the United States mission in both Afghanistan and Iraq. Poland currently has 1,750 troops in Afghanistan, Gdańsk province, fighting alongside National Guard troops from Illinois and other U.S. military units, and has the 5th largest troop contingent of all NATO forces. We owe a debt of gratitude to the thousands of men and women who have followed Kazimierz Pulaski's example and put themselves in harm's way in order to preserve freedom and liberty so we may enjoy the liberty and freedoms that we so enjoy. Additionally, we honor the sacrifice of the 36 Polish soldiers who have given their lives in the Afghan mission with the hopes of making the world a safer place for generations to come. In all endeavors, Poland remains an invaluable partner. I look forward to continue to help strengthen this bilateral relationship for years to come. It is an honor to represent you in the United States Senate. Sincerely, Mark Stephen Kirk.
Thank you, Rob.
I know we all wish the senator well. He's a great friend of ours. I would like at this time to ask Jan Sharkovsky, representative from the 9th Illinois Congressional District, to offer some greetings.
Thank you. I want to express my sincere thanks to the Polish Museum of America, the oldest and largest ethnic museum in the country. And it's fitting that it would be here in Chicago, the 2nd largest Polish city outside of the city of Warsaw. It's important that each year we celebrate and retell the story of the great Polish-American hero of the 18th century, and no one does it better than Illinois with our state holiday. But it's not just the story of one man. It's also true that when we celebrate the memory of Kazimierz Pulaski, we honor great principles and values that are just as true today as they were when he fought for our country. Like the idea of sacrifice for something you believe in, something much bigger than yourself. Kazimierz Pulaski was willing to risk and ultimately sacrifice his life for the idea of creating a new democracy. And today, young men and women are doing that very thing around the world. And when we honor Kazimierz Pulaski, we honor our young men and women in uniform who are in harm's way, even as we meet here today. When we honor Kazimierz Pulaski, we honor them as well. The lessons of this day include the importance of international cooperation, the U.S.-Poland friendship, and immigration reform. Kazimierz Pulaski made an amazing journey, considering the difficulty of travel in those days. He became not just a participant in an historic struggle, but a great leader, a general, and helped shape the future of the United States of America. Young Polish soldiers are serving right now as part of a U.S. coalition, a U.S.-led coalition in Afghanistan, and deserve our thanks today for standing shoulder to shoulder with us. When we honor Kazimierz Pulaski, we honor them too. And how many, did I hear? You want to applaud for them? Let's do it. And how many young Poles living here in Chicago are waiting for their chance to be generals, or simply wear the uniform of the United States, or study so they can discover a cure for cancer, or to be the entrepreneur that develops the next new technology? But a broken immigration system is blocking their dreams. We can honor Kazimierz Pulaski by working to make this generation of Americans welcoming to the dreamers and all Polish immigrants who have embraced this country. When we fight for immigration reform, we honor the memory of Kazimierz Pulaski. And I don't think Kazimierz Pulaski was asked for his visa when he mounted his horse and picked up his weapon. Today, visitors to our country from Poland should not be asked either. That is why, once again, I am a vigorous advocate for the visa waiver program for Poland. And by working hard and advocating for this change, we all honor the memory and the heroism of Kazimierz Pulaski. I hope that this day will be one during which all Illinoisans and Americans will focus on the significance of the day and this one man that has made such a difference in our lives in our country. The 21st century is different because in the 18th century, Kazimierz Pulaski fought for freedom. So thank you for the honor of addressing you this morning.
Thank you so much, Jan, for those encouraging words on this visa waiver program. You know, it's something to note that General Pulaski is only one of seven foreigners who've granted honorary citizenship to the United States of America. The unfortunate thing is, and even with that honorary citizenship, were he alive today, he would still have to apply for a visa. So we must work towards getting that revoked. I would like to ask now the Governor of the State of Illinois, Pat Quinn, to please honor us with, again, a few remarks. Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Dzień dobry. And I echo what has just been said by our great Congresswoman, Jan Schakowsky, the importance to Illinois, to America, to enact a visa waiver for the people of Poland. To our visitors who are coming to our country, it's important to make sure that we welcome them with open arms. As Kazimierz Pulaski, who came to America at the behest of Benjamin Franklin in Paris. He met him in Paris. Benjamin Franklin encouraged him to come to our revolution, our fight for freedom, and he met, Pulaski did, George Washington, who was so impressed by his abilities that he named him a general of our Army. Pulaski served us very, very well in the Battle of Brandywine, in the Battle of Charleston, in the Battle of Savannah, where he lost his life. I've been to Savannah, Georgia once. I went to his grave, Pulaski's grave. And I think we all owe a permanent debt of gratitude to Kazimierz Pulaski and to all the Polish people who believe in freedom, in democracy, and faith. We understand how precious those rights are to all of us. And that's why we're here today, to honor those important fundamental rights of faith and democracy and freedom that we all believe in. And at this very hour, in a faraway place called Afghanistan, we have Illinois National Guard members who are in the province of Ghazni, side by side with members of the Polish military who patrol that province. And Polish soldiers have lost their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan on behalf of faith and freedom and democracy. And we owe them a permanent debt of gratitude. We mourn their loss and we honor their memory. And it's important today in the tradition of Kazimierz Pulaski that we gather here today and thank God for these brave souls. Our state of Illinois, since 1995, has had a partnership for peace with the people of Poland. Our National Guard works with the Polish military on an ongoing basis to make sure we protect democracy all over this globe. And I think Kazimierz Pulaski, if he was here today, and he is an American citizen and a Polish citizen, would say, long live Polonia, long live the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Szakowski, good friend, and Governor Quinn, another good friend of the Polish Museum of America. We have a little disclaimer that says the program is subject to change. And as we have a very important donation coming to the museum today from PNC Bank, and our guests from PNC do have to leave, I would like to introduce them now. Linda Morris is the Vice President of Retail Banking, and Jerry Furby is the Executive Vice President of Executive Banking, and I am proud to say that both PNC Bank and Jewel Lasko, who will be introduced to you later, have been supporters of the museum Pulaski Day observance for many years. Linda and Jerry.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Again, on behalf of PNC, it is an honor to be part of this very meaningful ceremony celebrating the history and contributions of Chicago's rich Polish heritage. For many years, PNC has had the privilege of serving the Polish community here in Chicago. In fact, 35 of our 150-plus Chicagoland branches are dedicated to serving the financial needs of the Polish community by offering Polish-speaking financial specialists, dedicated websites in the Polish language, and collateral materials printed in Polish in our branches. We owe much back to this community, and we thank you deeply for your loyalty. It is only fitting that today, again, we offer this contribution of $5,000 to support the Polish National Museum of America and underwrite this event. The important work that this organization does will continue for many years to come. Thank you.
Put it above your head.
We're so thankful to the PNC Bank They are indeed great neighbors and friends to the Polish Museum of America. Thank you again. I will ask Sheila Simon to please come forward. Sheila represents the 46th District for the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Illinois. She is a professor of law, and she is a daughter of our former U.S. Senator, Paul Simon. Sheila, please.
Thank you. Good morning. What a pleasure to be here. Bishop, Governor, and everyone who has joined. I particularly want to thank the museum and the library for making our connections with history come alive, stay alive, and really enriching our culture. And I appreciate that all of you are a part of that. You know, when we talk about making those connections with history and making those cross-cultural connections, it's really a personal thing. And it's as personal as when Maria invites you to come and you feel the warmth and you say, yes, absolutely, I'll be there. But there are so many personal connections that we are rich in the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. And I'll just tell my one favorite story that I know some of you have heard before, but I just love it. A colleague of mine at the law school at Southern Illinois University, brilliant guy but not too functional in other capacities, was traveling in Poland. Some people know exactly who I'm talking about. Was traveling in Poland. He had rented a car and he had a flat tire. He has absolutely no idea on how to fix a flat tire, so he's standing by the side of the road. And someone stops by and offers to help. My colleague speaks no Polish. The person who offered to help spoke no English. So it was a challenge for a while until the person who stopped to help him pulled out his cell phone and called his brother in Chicago, who translated, and they got the tire changed. So I'm here to celebrate those personal connections, and thank you for celebrating those personal connections. Thanks very much.
We have another good friend to the Polish community and to the Polish Museum of America, and that is our Attorney General for the state of Illinois, Lisa Madigan. Unfortunately, Lisa Madigan is not with us this evening because of pressing business, or this afternoon, I should say, and I would like to ask Adam Szpirodzia to come up and say a few words. Adam, is he here?
Yes, Adam is here. Adam, yes.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Attorney General, I will read this letter. Dear friends, as Attorney General of the state of Illinois, I want to thank you, the Polish Museum of America, all those gathered today for recognizing the importance of General Kazimierz Pulaski Day. General Pulaski was a Pole, yet not one, not one who could claim to be more of an American hero. At the time when our country was more a vision than reality, Pulaski believed so strongly in the potential of America that he put his life on the line for the progress of our nascent country. I'm sorry for that. As we know, Pulaski became not only brigadier general, but also a commander of the American cavalry. His heroism and service to our country is legendary. He paid the ultimate sacrifice to help make sure America was just not a dream. General Pulaski was a great man, but he also an important symbol. He symbolizes the bond between our great countries, America and Polish people devoted to freedom. Thank you all again for taking time to celebrate the great Polish-American hero. Very truly yours, Lisa Madigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. On a very important occasion, we have a very important part of this program. And it has been a great honor to have both PNC Bank and Jewel Osco as sponsors for several years. This year is a changing year for Jewel Osco. but they were still able to underwrite our Pulaski Day Scholarship Program, for which we're very, very grateful. I would like to call forward from Pulaskiego Nick Betran, who is Vice President of Operations for Pulaskiego, and our friend Miguel Alba, Director, Community Relations, Pulaskiego. I would also like to call forward the Chair of the Judging Committee, Dr. Geraldine Balut-Coleman, who is our Secretary of the Board, a life member, and was the Chair of the Judging Committee. Geraldine?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure which one of these microphones really works. I want to thank Mr. Miguel Alba and Mr. Nick Betran from Pulaskiego to make this possible. I also want to thank all of the students who applied for a possible scholarship. It was very difficult for us judges to make a decision. Out of the many who applied, we have 5 recipients. And on behalf of the judges, Richard Cuyava, Operations Manager of the museum, and Mr. Jan Osada, a journalist and editor, and myself, I would like to thank everyone. So, here we go. In no particular order of importance, but done in alphabetical order, we have Annette Elliott. Annette Elliott is a senior at the Art Institute of Chicago. Her concentration is architecture, and the topic of her essay was Going Public, the Art of Krzysztof Wodowsko.
Institute. Okay.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
If you'll just
right. The next recipient is Emil Leon Kozowiak. I'm a little nervous here. A junior at Northwestern University, majoring in biomedical engineering, and his topic was Jan Karski. Thank you, Governor.
Just see me as a judge.
Thank you very much.
Great. The third recipient is Alexandra Kushadowska. She is a senior at Loyola Academy and an early admissions recipient of Barnard College of Columbia University. And the topic of her essay was Piotr Uzarowicz, producer and director of documentary film, The Officer's Wife. Congratulations. Oh, one more? Okay, this is the mother who wants to have a picture.
Right. One more?
She's the mom. Good.
Congratulations.
The next recipient is Paul Odrabina Jr. Paul is a sophomore at Columbia College, majoring in film and video. The topic of his essay was Dennis Orlowski, muralist and painter from Hamtramck, Michigan. The last recipient is Elizabeth Zborek, a freshman at Northwestern University majoring in biology and/or psychology. The topic of her essay was Stan Musial, the definition of success in baseball and beyond. Thank you, parents. Thank you, recipients. And I just want to let you know that of all the recipients that applied for this scholarship, no two topics were identical. Great thinking. Thank you.
Our future Polonia leaders, let's all give them another acknowledgement. Applause. And thank you so much to Jewel Osko, another good friend of the Polish people and the citizens of Chicago. Now, you young folks, I want you to take that check and go over to our other friends, the PNC Bank, and see if you can cash them. Okay. To move along now, I would ask Mr. Dan Rutherford, Treasurer of the State of Illinois, to come and address the group. Mr. Rutherford.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you very much. To our friends at PNC, all this time I thought it stood for Polish. To the Polish Museum, thank you very much for hosting this today. Governor Quinn, Mayor officials, and to the Consul General. Madam Consul General, you represent your nation so well here in the Chicagoland area. We are honored to have you here with us. I just came from the airport, literally. I drove straight from O'Hare last night. I was in Washington, D.C. for the American-Israeli Political Affairs Committee. And while I was there, I told them I couldn't stay today because I had to catch the real early morning flight to get back here for Kazimierz Pulaski Day. I had a number of our Jewish friends ask me to specifically say thank you. Thank you to Poland and to the Polish people that stood up and helped them during the days of the Holocaust. To the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, thank you. This is a great gem, this museum. I've been here a number of times and I'm glad to be back. You know, I'm from Central Illinois. I didn't celebrate Kazimierz Pulaski Day as a little boy. When I became an adult and I started working in the Chicagoland area, I learned more. And I learned more about American history. And as a little boy in Central Illinois, little did I know how much this man helped change our country. And as I grew up and became more aware of the Polish community, not just in my little small town, but here in this great city, global city of Chicago. The Polish community is so intertwined in who we are as Americans and who we are as proud Illinoisans. Everything from food to music to art. And of course, as we've heard from our good United States Senator and our U.S. Congressperson, standing up on the forces of evil across the globe. But the other thing that I'm particularly pleased with in knowing more about our Polish community here and celebrating it today are the veterans that are sitting in this room who have given so much, and for the first responders whether they are fire or police, of Polish American descent. We are blessed as a country to have such an ethnic fiber woven so deep in the mosaic of what makes America so good. And for us to set aside each day in a year to celebrate and use Kazimierz Pulaski, to honor him, but also use that as the excuse for us to recognize the contributions of the Polish Americans. I'm so abundantly honored just to be a small part of this celebration today. Thank you so very, very much.
Our next guest is truly no foreigner and no stranger to the Polish Museum of America. Judy Bartopinka has been here for many, many years and is a very, very, very good friend of the museum. It gives me great pleasure to ask her to have a few remarks for our group. Judy, please.
Well, thank you very much. This has got to be maybe my 30th Pulaski Day. In fact, my staff doesn't even write me a speech anymore. They just say, go out and do it. You know what it is. And really and truly, I'm always happy. This is one of my favorite days, my favorite public days, because it brings all of Polonia together under one roof here and honors General Pulaski, who's done so much to create our military, to help with the United States, to actually create something. And I'm so happy we have a delegation of military here, because they wouldn't be where they are and we wouldn't be where we are if it weren't for General Pulaski. So know that, know that. And I have to throw a crumb here to, and my all-time favorite though is General Kosciuszko, because you know he did an awful lot as well, and we should not overlook him. He of course founded the army, General Pulaski founded the cavalry, you put them together, and this is why we have a United States, because of the organizing efforts that those two generals brought to us. That's why when we talk about immigration, we talk about newcomers, we should welcome these folks, because without them, we would not have a country. Now, I'm going to be short because you have had many speakers, but I want you to know I've had the honor of sitting next to the president of PNA, Frank Spula. Frank Spula is an old accordion player, so am I. And we have decided that we are going to bring our two accordions together and play at a public function. So I don't know if we're going to do this at next year's Pulaski Day or at some other event, but it just gives you fair warning, you can still escape. So to all of you, thank you very much for honoring Polonia, all that we've meant to really the United States and to Illinois especially. I think when you see this delegation of important people come, you understand why there is a great feeling and a great thankfulness and gratitude to Polonia. You bring them out because you're you. God bless you all. And you know, wait a minute, one thing too, because we're waiting for a new pope to come, and I want you to know, Bishop Andrew, I want to nominate you because I think it's time for another. He's so good. He's so good. Well, I know it's the power I carry, okay. And not only that would I nominate him, but I would hope he would be there, because maybe it's time for another Polish Pope, because so many wonderful things got done under John Paul. Let's do it again. God bless you all.
I think we would all second her nomination of the good bishop as a potential candidate for the next pope. Thank you. Thank you, Judy. On our agenda, we have the Honorable Aurelia Kuczynski to speak, to say a few words. As you know, she has been a judge of the various situations in the courts of the state of Illinois and the county, Cook County. But I don't believe Aurelia is here this morning. At least I haven't seen her, and I missed her. So I know that she sends her congratulations on this day, and we will just move along and accept her absence. Now, Mrs. Cheshla.
We're very sorry. I had just seen Ori last week and everything was set, so I'm hoping everything is okay for her. We are going to introduce to you now the people on the dais who are not speaking or who have not been introduced, and it is in no particular order, but it is a great honor since Kazimierz Pulaski was a brigadier general commissioned here in the United States that we have Brigadier General Daniel Crumry, the Illinois National Guard. General, would you please stand? Welcome, and I believe that you're being honored tonight by the Polish-American Congress. Am I correct? I think so. So congratulations on that. I'm going sort of down the list. We do have other speakers coming to you, so I will not introduce them right now. We have Honorable Joseph Berrios, Cook County Democratic Party head and also the assessor of Cook County. Mr. Berrios, I know you're here. Yes? Okay. We have another guest that was not able to attend. We have the Honorable Joe Procol Moreno, Alderman, 1st Ward, City of Chicago. He didn't make it either. Hey, we've got a list going here. We have the Honorable Krzysztof Wasowicz, the Mayor of the Village of Justice. There you are. Very good. Welcome, Mayor. We have the Honorable Martin Sandoval, Illinois State Senator, 11th District. We have the Honorable Maria Antonina Berrios, the Illinois State Representative, 39th District. Maria, they left, okay. We have Joseph J. Anotti, the President of the American Fraternal Alliance. Joseph. I don't believe that our first honorary life member, as well as extremely generous in-kind donor from Kasha's Deli, Kazimierz Bober, is with us, but she could be downstairs getting ready for the public reception. Is she here? Oh, Kasha, would you please wave? She's in the back. We have from Los Angeles, Mr. Marek Zembrowski, the director of the Polish Music Center, Thornton School of Music at the University of Southern California. Mr. Zembrowski, we welcome you. We have the Honorable Mariana Spiropoulos, the Commissioner of Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. Mariana. We have Major Douglas Koop, the Major in the U.S. Army National Guard, Illinois Army National Guard. Okay, I'm going down the list here because I don't want to. We have Mrs. Delphine Dolly Honeycutt, the National President of the Polish Women's Alliance of America, who are PMA. They are PMA Life members, thank you, and they have been with the museum since its inception, and we have this beautiful painting because of the Polish Women's Alliance of America. So thank you, Dolly, for all those years back. I know you weren't there. We have now, let's see, I'm going down the list here. We have Honorable John Mulrow, Illinois State Senator, 10th District. John? We have the Honorable Stephanie D. Neely, Treasurer, City of Chicago. Stephanie, did she leave? We have the Honorable Dan Kotowski, Illinois State Senator, 33rd District. Dan. The Honorable Ray Suarez, 31st Ward Alderman, City of Chicago. Ray, are you, is he? We have David Huber. He is the president of the Catholic Order of Foresters and a PMA member. Dave. We have Honorable Michael Carbonargi, who is the Commissioner, Cook County Board of Review. Michael. We have the Honorable Dan Patlak, Commissioner, Board of Tax Appeals, and a PMA member. Dan. Mr. Timothy Kuzma, he is the president of the Polish Falcons of America and came from Pittsburgh. Dan? And Tim, sorry. The Honorable Arlene Yezherny, the Mayor, Village of Harwood Heights, and a PMA member. We have Mr. Paul Sadowski, Polish Falcons President, District 2, and PMA members. Paul? Okay. And we have Counselor Minister Ariusz Rybacki from the Polish Consulate in Chicago. Counselor Minister. I think the Honorable Robert Fioretti, the alderman from the 2nd Ward in the city of Chicago, was to attend. I don't believe I have seen him. We also have Mr. John Kielczewski, who is the president of CSA Fraternal Life and the assistant vice president, Catholic Order of Foresters, and a PMA member. John? This gentleman may have left, Honorable Luis Arroyo, Illinois State Representative, 3rd District. You're still here. Good. Wonderful. Now, I believe that I took care of the dais. In a few minutes, we will talk about our VIP section. And if I forgot anyone, please forgive me. I don't believe that I did. But we have everybody accounted for. Okay, thank you. We will continue with the program.
Do you wonder, with all of the elected officials here from the state, county, and city of Chicago, who's running the government today? They're all here paying tribute to General Pulaski, and we thank them heartily. Thank you. The next gentleman I would ask to speak is Mr. Frank Spula. Mr. Frank Spula is the president of the Polish National Alliance of America. He is also the president of the Polish American Congress and a good friend of mine. Mr. Spula, please.
Mr. President, Mistress of Ceremonies, Consul General, Your Excellency, Reverend Clergy, and distinguished guests. You know, listening to Judy Bartopinka say a few words that she's been coming here for 30 years really strikes a chord, I think, for many in this room, because we can recall the days when Pulaski Day was just being formed. Everybody was talking about it, and we have people in this very room where they're part of that program that made it happen. And today, when we see so many people in this room, including the elected representatives, it's a tribute to Pulaski and to the community. So thank you for being here this morning. We have many heroes within our community, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives me great pride that we have our community remember Casimir Pulaski. In this room, we just take a look and we have so many different cultures and ethnicities as well. We're not all Polish, but we're here today. We have one thing in common, and that happens to be freedom. That's why Brigadier General Pulaski fought on our land in this country, on North America, making that ultimate sacrifice. General Pulaski showed the deep love of freedom that burns in hearts of those who came to these shores and who still want to come to this great country of ours. We pay tribute to Pulaski because of the truths for which he fought for. He once said, as was recited earlier, "I came here where freedom is being defended, to serve it, to live or die for it." Indeed, he did die for it. He was not an American at that time, but he came on this continent for just a few years, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, but he certainly made a difference for this country and probably the entire world. By giving his life, he was an American patriot. He wasn't only Polish, but he was a Pole as well. He earned his honorary American citizenship by paying that ultimate price, giving up his life. General Pulaski showed the deep love of freedom that burns in the hearts of those who have come to these shores for all these centuries to start a better and a new life. In order to protect that, we as Americans of all backgrounds and beliefs have a tremendous responsibility. If freedom is to survive, it will depend on us. We need to protect and defend it. We all need to be more involved in the democratic process as a group in electing officials who will represent our needs as a community. On April 9th, 120 municipalities and 30 townships will hold their elections for officials. Let's be more engaged in our communities. Let's ask the candidates how they stand on taxes, how they stand on pension reforms, how they stand on school issues. What should the agendas be? The list is endless. Have your voices heard. Cast your ballot. By not voting, your opinion certainly doesn't count. You're simply a non-entity. It's our civic duty to vote. This is why Casimir Pulaski came to the North American continent, to make sure that people would have freedom and have rights. I am more than certain that General Pulaski would be disappointed, as we've heard before, that Poland and its people to this very age still need a visa to come to the United States. You know, when we take a look at this, Poles were the first ones to come here in 1608. I'm sure if visas were required, his visa would be still probably in one of those files, waiting. And he'd never be here, and we wouldn't be celebrating this day, and he wouldn't be the father of the American cavalry. Let's make sure that our lobby, our representatives on both sides of the aisle, the Democrats and Republicans, so they can get on board to include Poland in the immigration program. The bill recently introduced, the House Resolutions Bill 490, Visa Waiver Program, Enhanced Security and Reform Act. We need to contact our legislatures of the House of the Judiciary from the following states: Wisconsin, our neighboring state, Ohio, and Illinois as well. It doesn't get approved. If it doesn't get approved, it's our fault. We need to get that as citizens of this country. We need to reach out to these phones, whether it's by email, by fax, or by phone call. We have to make those phone calls and let our voices be heard. I'd like to thank you for your attention this morning, and let's make sure that Pulaski Day is never removed as a holiday. Let's celebrate Pulaski Day as a community. God bless you.
We welcome for the first time this year new Illinois State Rep Robert Murphy from the 19th District. Rob.
Sorry, guys. Are you hooked into me? I'm pulling out. Hearing me right now. Do you have a wireless that you can throw? Yeah.
To George Washington. The next people that we're going to present fought for freedom, fought for their country, but were denied the ability to return to their country. Poland, which had fought from day one in World War II, and then in 1945 was turned over to the Soviet Union, which for the first 2 years of the period called World War II was an ally of Nazi Germany, which a lot of people tend to forget. For those reasons, they did not return. They came here to the United States afterwards as DPs, displaced persons, veterans, and unfortunately, as we know from veterans also of World War II in the United States, they are fewer and fewer each year as we have these ceremonies. Last year, SPK, Polish Combatants Post number 15, donated $5,000 to the museum and also gave us their banner, their veterans banner, because they had been formed in Chicago, they lived in Chicago, and they raised their families in Chicago. So they said, no, we're not going to send it to Poland. Our life, yes, during World War II, our life was for Poland. After World War II, our life was here in the United States, in Chicago, so that's why the museum should be a repository for our flag. SPK post number 31 also is unfortunately facing dissolution. They are ceasing their activities. They are helping other Polish organizations as well as their fellow combatants in Poland, and they have made a donation of $5,000 to the museum, and they are also donating their banner to the museum where it will be held. Another group that we have are the Polish aviators, and we just had their opening of their exhibit, which will then return to Poland, to Dęblin, to the Polish Air Force Academy. Unfortunately, we had to widen the hall, so the exhibit is not able to be seen. Maybe afterwards some of you can see it, but it'll also be extended to the middle of March, so come back please to see the full exhibit lit up as it should be. I'm now asking representatives of post number 31 SPK, Monte Cassino, and Mrs. Maria Chudzińska of the Polish Air Force Veterans to come up here. Proszę Państwa, mamy bardzo smutny moment, bo mamy okazję, kiedy generał Pulaski był tutaj, walczył o wolność Ameryki i został tutaj. Mamy grupę weteranów, którzy nie mieli okazji wrócić do Polski po wojnie, bo najpierw był jeden wróg, a później drugi wróg, który okupował Polskę. Oni zdecydowali, weterani, że tutaj będzie ich przyszłość, nie tylko dla nich, ale dla rodzin. I z tego powodu SPK koło 15 i SPK koło 31 zostawili nam, muzeum, sztandary. Mówili, w czasie II wojny światowej walczyliśmy o Polskę, dalej pracujemy dla sprawy polskiej, ale też tutaj wychowujemy rodziny, tutaj będzie nasza przyszłość jest tutaj w Stanach Zjednoczonych. Nie było dane, żeby wrócić zwycięsko do Polski aż po 1989 roku. Więc poproszę delegację z SPK koło numer 31 o wręczenie przekazanie nam sztandaru. I poproszę też panią konsul Kapucińską.
That's got to be in Polish. Otóż koło SPK numer 31 imienia II Korpusu zostało założone 23 listopada 1953 roku. Jest częścią Stowarzyszenia Polskich Kombatantów w Stanach Zjednoczonych. My, członkowie SPK, żyjący w tym kraju, pomału schodzimy ze sceny działania patriotycznego, bo jesteśmy organizacją żołnierzy II wojny światowej. Minęły już lata trudnej i ofiarnej pracy kombatanckiej na cele charytatywne, społeczne, oświatowe, naukowe i religijne. Wielu z nas odeszło na wieczną i ostatnią wartę, nie oglądając Polski, już spoczywa na naszej działce kombatanckiej na cmentarzu Mary Hill w Niles. Nadszedł czas rozstania się z naszym sztandarem koła SPK numer 31, który to reprezentował nasze koło we wszystkich uroczystościach i wojskowych, kościelnych, historycznych, pogrzebowych i paradach trzeciomajowych. Dzisiaj przekazujemy nasz sztandar Polskiemu Muzeum z prośbą, ażeby tu pozostał i był dowodem naszej wieloletniej walki o niepodległość Polski. Bóg, honor i ojczyzna było celem istnienia i działania naszego koła SPK. Niech sztandar To nasz standard to lekcja historii dla przyszłych naszych pokoleń. Dziękuję. A teraz jeszcze, jeśli mogę przeczytać naszego referenta, który już nie żyje, ale jego wiersz proszę posłuchać. Polski sztandar bojowy ma śliczne 3 słowa. Na tle biało-czerwonym złotą lamą tkane. Polski sztandar bojowy ma śliczne 3 słowa. Na tle biało-czerwonym złotą lamą tkane. Bóg, honor i ojczyzna. I tych słów wymowa to przejrzysta, że wszystko w niej wypowiedziane. Polski sztandar żołnierski, symbol naszej chwały w chwilach zwycięstw i klęski, sytości i głodu. Bóg, honor i ojczyzna w tym skrócie wspaniałym widzisz serce i duszę narodu. On od dziada, pradziada nad nami trzepoce i przypomina wszystkie dzieje tysiąclecia i rycerskie triumfy i powstańcze noce i czas, który nad Polską jak wicher przeleciał. Jagiellonów, Sobieckich, Rejtanów, Okrzejów, Kościuszków i Pułaskich, Piłsudskich i Grotów, każdego, kto z honorem w ciągu naszych dziejów dla Boga i Ojczyzny żyć i zginąć gotów. Felix Konarski. Dziękuję.
Złożyliście i dla Polski, ale również dla tego do kraju. Szacujcie sławy, was błogosławi.
I teraz poprosić Panią Wójcińską skrzydła świata lotnictwa.
Od samego początku wojny pomagali Pani ministrze, wszystko to Pana wojny, tak jak cała Europa. Wielu Polaków zginęło podczas walki o wielu wybranie. Poświęcili swoje życie Dlatego w tej chwili naszą wystawę pan kustosz, pan Loryś otworzył tutaj w naszym muzeum. Wystawa ta wkrótce pojedzie z powrotem do Polski, do szkoły Orlon w Dęblinie i już tutaj nie wróci, więc jeżeli ktoś chciałby zobaczyć, to są to ostatnie momenty, kiedy można ją obejrzeć tutaj. Była w polskim lotnictwie było 18 000 ludzi. To było największe lotnictwo w Europie z podziemnych oddziałów. Nasza administracja była począwszy od kucharza, a skończywszy na generale. Także wszystko było w naszych rękach. I było bardzo dobrze prowadzone i bardzo dużo zginęło. Tutaj przeważnie są zdjęcia byłych lotników, którzy walczyli o Polskę, którym nie mieliśmy okazji złożyć hołdu i którzy już, większość z nich już w tej chwili nie żyje. Więc zachęcam do obejrzenia. Dziękuję. Polish Air Force Veterans Association Chicago Wing wręczam panu Lorysiowi dla Muzeum Polskiego czek na $500.
Dziękuję. This is a good summary. Mrs. Wojcicka said that the Polish Air Force, fighting under British command, was the 5th largest air force in Europe during World War II. Remember, this was a country that was occupied by the Germans, and basically the pilots came in one by one out of occupied Europe and joined the Polish Air Force. So later on, if you have time, please take a look at the exhibit. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the museum, thank you very much for your donation.
No, and this is another young individual who is a friend to the Polish Museum and has been a friend of the Polish Museum for many, many years. She is the treasurer of the Cook County, and I would like to ask Maria Pappas to please come forward.
I come here today with a great sense of pride. I've been coming for over 22 years. You've welcomed me everywhere in your community, throughout Poland, with welcoming arms. And I can tell you that the one thing that characterizes the Polish community is a sense of pride for their culture, their heritage, their museum, their music, their religion, their economic development, their veterans, and their children. So I thank you, and in these halls today, I have wonderful, wonderful memories, not only of the people who are here, but the faces and the memories of the people who are not here, who helped to build this museum. As an elected official, I can tell you that you have favorites. You are my favorite. May God bless you. And you live to come and see each other here every year. Thank you.
Moving along, we have the Polish American Congress National President here in Mr. Spula, but we also have the Illinois Division of the Polish American Congress represented by President Mary Anselmo. Please, Mary Anselmo.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, dear General, Brigadier General, dear friend, we shared dinner in Poland, and all distinguished guests, and especially our Consul General Paulina. It is one thing to fight and die for your country, but it is quite another to fight and die for freedom itself. This was how President George Washington started to describe a hero of the American Revolution. The President went on to say that Americans should remember with affection and gratitude the name Casimir Pulaski. We all know how Casimir Pulaski played a vital role in the American Revolution. Casimir Pulaski is one of the best known names in America, and especially in our community. There are over 176 counties, cities, towns, and bridges all over the United States that carry his last name. There's even a major road here down in Chicago, a national monument in Coxsackie Island, Georgia, and there is also an impressive marble bust in the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. Why? Why is he so remembered? It wasn't only his military accomplishments that retained our enduring honor and remembrance. It was also how he was a man of ideals. Just as the Polish people who live here and among us are also a group of people with ideals. No matter where we fight, we will fight and strive to live up to these ideals of truth, justice, and liberty. The United States honors him for all his help and his heroism. As Polish Americans today, we honor him so we may all remember what he stood for and what it means to be a true Pole, no matter where our feet stand. Thank you very much.
We are moving towards the end of our program, but we still have several important visitors to speak with us. We also will have the benediction, and we will have the dedication of the wreath laying in front of the picture of Pulaski. And we will all sing at the conclusion, God Bless America. So I ask that when we have the benediction that we still remain seated, respectful, and until we get concluded with the wreath laying and with the singing of God Bless America. I would ask now the Honorable Mona Norega to come speak to us this morning.
So good morning. I'm the Commissioner of Human Relations. As an appointed member of the Mayor's Cabinet, I wish to recognize the Polish Museum of America as a crown jewel of the Polish community. I also want to join the thousands of Polish Americans who live in Chicago in celebration of Kazimierz Pulaski and recognize the countless contributions the Polish community has made to making Chicago the great city that it is, and the ultimate contribution made by Kazimierz Pulaski and all our veterans who are present today who believed in the freedom that this country represents. The city of Chicago is no less invested in making sure that all people, and when I say all people, I mean all people who have equal access to employment, to housing, to public accommodations. You cannot be denied a job, denied a home, or a public service because of your country of origin or because you're an immigrant or a woman or have a disability. I have brochures in the back. Look at the brochures in the back. It talks about what all the protected classes are, what the Commission on Human Relations does. And you'll see on the back of this brochure is Joanna Borowitz's name. She's of the Polish community, and she's a commissioner appointed by the mayor to help serve our many communities. If you ever need community mediation or you want someone to come out to deliver bullying or diversity training, please call us. As a part of serving the many immigrant communities, I also want to point out that the City of Chicago is hosting a business workshop for the Polish community on March 9th. There are flyers for that in the back as well. Basically, I want to say let's continue to support the rich heritage of freedom that Kazimierz Pulaski gave his life for, and that our many beautiful veterans are here. I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Here is a true friend of the Polish Museum, a true friend and alderman from the city of Chicago, the alderman of the 30th Ward, Ariel Graboras, who will probably say a few words in Polish, if I'm not mistaken.
Dzień dobry, witam. Ja jestem tutaj reprezentować Aldemana Raboiros, and I thank you for that. I come to wish you well, and we cannot forget a person, a General Pulaski, for what he's done for Illinois, what he's done for our country. This is my 10th year that I come before you. A year ago, I celebrated the birth of my granddaughter. Today she's 1 year old. And I would never forget, Pulaski is going to be a household name in my house, just so you know that. And to that I say, Boże błogosław Pulaski, Boże błogosław Polonia.
It's always nice to have honorary Poles visiting us. Quickly, we're going to go through some of our VIP section, and then we will have a wonderful keynote, first-time address by our new Consul General of the Republic of Poland in Chicago, Paulina Kapuścińska. But first, we'll quickly go through this. I would like to introduce Sharon Zago, the Vice President of the Polish Women's Alliance, Paul Odrobina, Vice President of the Polish National Alliance, Mr. Jim, but he goes, it's really James Robaczewski, who is the Secretary Treasurer and a PMA member of the Polish Roman Catholic Union. Anna Sokołowska, she is the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America Vice President, the PMA Board Vice Chair, and a PMA Life member. The lovely Judy Drobot, she is the First Lady of the PRCUA and a PMA Life member. Judy. We have SPC, and I'm sorry I don't have the name, Litvitsky, who's a specialist with the U.S. Army retired, is the gentleman present. Sorry. Okay, Colonel Richard Neely of the Illinois National Guard. Colonel. There you are. Mr. John Normoyle, representing U.S. Senator Dick Durbin. Mr. Normoyle. We have Joanna Borowiec, who's a board member of the Chicago Commission on Human Relations, and Pablo Medina, Director of Intergroup Relations of the Commission. Mr. Robert Bugelski, PRCUA Director, District 7. Am I correct, Bob? It's District 7? Yes, very good. Mark Dobrzycki, Trustee, Village of Harwood Heights, Illinois. Mark. Allison Koppel, American Fraternal Alliance. Allison, did she make it? Łukasz Fuksa, President of the Polish American Chamber of Commerce. Łukasz. Okay, George Migawa, Director, WCEV AM Radio. George. And as I understand it, George, I hope I have my history correct. You were instrumental in getting the first Pulaski Day going, am I correct? With Governor Walker and Mr. Dikla, am I correct about that? Thank you for that. Thank you very much. That's very historic. We have Mrs. Janice Odrobina. Janice, I know Paul's wife, and actually right hand. We have Stanley Balzikas, who is the legendary founder and president of the Balzikas Museum of Lithuanian Culture. Stanley, I know you're here. He was. He's not here now. Okay. Ted Tchaikovsky, president of the Alliance of Polish Clubs in America. Chris Jaworowski, I'm not sure if Chris is still here, but he is our general contractor, was our general contractor on the beautiful Paderewski Room, the beautiful art gallery, and now our new entryway. Chris, I don't know if you're still here. Okay, here we go. Honorable Diane Marsalek, Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County and a PMA member. Honorable Edward Marsalek, retired Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County and a PMA member, and his wife Ann, please. I know that, did they make it? No, they didn't make it, sorry. Okay, Mr. Romuald Matuszczak, President, Polish American Businessmen's Club and PMA member. Mr. Gerald A. Tarka, Calumet City Treasurer and PMA member. I'm not sure if Jerry made it with his family. I guess not. Oh, did you? Okay, very good. Honorable E. Kenneth Wright, Jr., Presiding Judge of the First Municipal District Circuit Court of Cook County. Okay, he was here. Marta Almodovar, Administrative Supervisor, Circuit Court of Cook County. Marta, probably not here any longer. Victoria Granatsky, PMA Board Member and PMA Member. And Vicki was instrumental in helping this building in November receive landmark status from the city of Chicago, and she's a conservationist and a building specialist. So thank you, Vicki, for that wonderful honor. Mr. Bogdan Horozowski, PMA member, Polish veteran. I believe I saw Mr. Horozowski here, but he's not here at the moment. Okay, Mr. Ksiądz Marek Kasperczuk, who is from the Bishop Abramowicz Seminary. Is Father here? Kamil Kopielski, American Council for Polish Culture, PMA Life member, and PMA past treasurer. Felicia Krupinski, PMA Life member, and at one time a very strong volunteer at the museum. Felicia, I know I saw you. Honorable Daniel Kubashak, Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County. Judge Kubashak. Misha Kurzydłowska, PMA board member and life member. Misha. Dr. Henry Kurzydłowski, PMA member. I know I saw him here. Richard Ovshani, Vice President, PMA Board and PMA member. Rich, I know you're back there, at least you were. John J. Piekarski, Gordon and Piekarski, PMA member. John may have left. Dr. James Pula, PhD Professor, Purdue University and PMA member. I saw Jim earlier. Kevin Ryba, PMA board member, PMA member. Teresa Shinkowski, PMA board member, PMA member. And we are getting down to the bottom here. Michael Gadzinski, trustee Village of Harwood Heights, PMA member. Michael. Okay, Mark, I believe I introduced you. I believe you're duplicated here, but we did introduce you, right, as the trustee of the Village of Harwood Heights. Mr. T. Ron Yashinsky-Herbert, president, Polish Arts Club. Ron? There he is. Chad Hoosier, deputy chief of staff for Lieutenant Governor Sheila Simon. I'm sure they have left. Mr. Wallace Ozog, immediate past president, Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, and immediate past chair, PMA board member, and PMA life member. Joanne Ozog was the director of volunteers and special events for many years at the Polish Museum of America, and she is also a PMA life member a few times over. Joanne? Mr. Thomas Surma, President, Polish American Police Association. And Tom, we're not sure who your officer with you is, but I'd be happy to introduce him. Is one of your officers with you? Yes, and welcome to your, we didn't have a name, I'm sorry. And we have now Karolina Zacek, who is representing U.S. 5th District Representative Michael Quigley. Karolina. The Honorable Konrad Zieliński, Vice Counsel for Polonia Affairs at the Consulate in Chicago. Honorable Robert Ruszewski, Vice Consul General of the Republic of Poland in Chicago. Mario Puharek, Integra Communications, Inc. Mario, I saw you in the back, but maybe you have left. Michelle Stack Hendrickson, President, Advocate Society. They are life members of the museum. Terry Schupfer, Treasurer, Village of Harwood Heights. I don't know if the treasurer is here. I introduced Mr. Huber. I introduced Alderman Arena. Gary Kenzer, Executive Director, Polish American Association. Gary. Jimmy Magulias, Trustee, Village of Harwood Heights. And Leszek I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I didn't spell it right. Schlenzak, Trustee, Village of Harwood Heights. I believe those gentlemen may have left. Miss Anna Kajiwava from Parkway Bank, and our longtime friend Herb Hernandez from Parkway Bank, the Vice President of Parkway Bank. Mr. Andrzej Gendlach, President, Polish Highlanders Alliance. Helena Studniacka, General Secretary, Polish Highlanders Alliance. Yes, no? Mr. Walter Elsoika, Walter Elsoika Funeral Home, PMA member. I'm not sure, did Walter make it? Good. And Walter was also the co-founder of our very first summer ball over 30 years ago. Edwin Cruz, who is Mr. Soika's right-hand assistant, should be here also. Mr. Donald Gutowski, former Village of Norwich trustee and PMA Life member. Don. Honorable James Mura, acting mayor of Norwich. I'm not sure. Are you good? He made it. Wonderful. We're glad you're here. Welcome. Honorable Carol Bielchak, retired former 30th Ward Alderwoman. Carol. President Wiesław Chodorowski, AK Foundation President and PMA member. I see Mr. Chodorowski back there. Virginia Tsudetsky, PMA board member and life member. Virginia, I did see you come in. There you are. Okay, very good. Shirley Dujinski, PRCUA past director, District 7 and PMA member. Not sure if Shirley made it. Camille Einoder, PMA life member. Mr. Kenneth P. Gill, President, Heritage Club of Polish Americans, PMA board member. And first PMA Heritage Life member. Reverend Václav Lecht, OCD, St. Camilla's Parish. He is the pastor, Father Lecht. I think that Ted Makarewicz, our board member and life member, had to leave. Mr. Robert Maykan, National Treasurer of the Polish American Congress. Bob, welcome. Mr. Conrad Michko, Chicago Intercollegiate Council and PMA life member. Reverend Waldemir Stawiarski, St. Helen Church pastor. I'm not sure if Father Stawiarski made it. Mr. Ray Shidwell, Chrissy Insurance Group and PMA member. Ray, I did see you. Father Zdzisław Torba, pastor, St. Ferdinand Church. Father Zdzisław. Mrs. Betty Usarowicz, PMA board member and life member. Betty. Mr. Donald V. Verson, Sr., PMA Life member and banking consultant. Don, I did see you come up the stairs. Jolanta Wiśnicki, Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union. Jolanta. Lori Yates, who is the senior advisor to the treasurer. I believe that he has left. My special guest is Richard Cheshla, who is the past president of the Chicago Society and the Chicago Society Foundation, and is a PMA life member. Rich, are you still up here? Maybe he went downstairs. There he is. Welcome. And my husband. And we have many PMA and PRCUA staff who gave up a free day, an opportunity for a free day, to be able to come and work this event. They are dedicated. They are also, many of them are members of the museum. They're dedicated every single day that they're here and even on their days off. So I would like them to please stand. I know they're in the room. Very good. And we have Grażyna Basilewska, PMA board member and PMA member. She may have already gone down. Oh, you're still good. You haven't gone downstairs. Very good. So thank you all. That you are all our honored guests, but we do have a VIP section and we wanted to acknowledge it. Thank you all very much.
Unfortunately, I have to make well, this is a good news, bad news. We have two cars that are blocking people who are trying to leave. One of them belongs to a Mr. Godlewski, so if you can get your car. And the good news is one of the other car that's blocking is a Jaguar, so we must not be doing too badly. Thank you. If you get your car down.
It is their first visit to the Pulaski Day ceremony. She has been nominated and is serving as the Consul General of the Republic of Poland to Chicago since a year ago around this time. I would like very much to welcome Paulina Kapuścińska, and I would like all of you to give her a wonderful warm welcome as her first time participant in this wonderful Pulaski Day ceremony. Pani
speechless. I'm supposed to speak, and I'm speechless. Thank you very much for this warm welcome.
Głośniej do mikrofonu.
I like the way Honorable Papa spoke with no mic. Oh gosh.
Just get in front of it. Yeah, just get in front of it.
Dzień dobry. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually, almost. Thank you very much for having me here. His Excellency Bishop Andrzej Wypych, Mr. Treasurer just left, but Mrs. President Maria Cieśla, Mr. President Joseph Drobot, Mr. President Frank Spula, Director Jan Loryś, all distinguished guests, wszyscy Państwo, szanowni goście, pozwólcie, że będę mówić po angielsku ze względu na szacunek naszych amerykańskich gości. Please allow me to speak to you today in English, as I know we have many eminent guests among us, our American friends, who have joined us today to celebrate our great patriot Kazimierz Pulaski, a hero of our both nations. It is with my great sense of honor and pleasure that I address you today in my very first Pulaski Day celebration since my appointment as Consul General of the Republic of Poland in Chicago last September, so less than a year. I'm especially pleased that in my first Pulaski Day celebration, we are delighted to host so many, so great guests. Some of them just left, but we really appreciate all the presence of them, among them Mayor of Chicago, Governor of the state of Illinois, and many, many others. I'm also very glad that all of you have joined us today to remember Kazimierz Pulaski, dedicating your time during the day, and celebrate Poland's friendship with the United States and our great hero's legacy in America. And that reasons to celebrate his legacy are legion. Kazimierz Pulaski, the father of American cavalry, fought courageously for the freedom of both Poland and America. He joined the struggle for Polish independence in 1768, fighting against Russian domination with unwavering resolve. In spite of his bravery, the enemy forces succeeded, and Poland soon plunged into decades of partitions. General Kazimierz Pulaski then joined America's struggle for independence. He demonstrated extraordinary heroism and leadership skills, but ultimately sacrificed his life during the siege of Savannah in service of America. Ladies and gentlemen, General Kazimierz Pulaski's act of tremendous courage have long remained a source of great inspiration for entire generations of Poles and Americans. In fact, we have here with us today many of those who had demonstrated similar courage, our dear veterans of World War II, who fought violently against the two totalitarian powers, Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, both invaded Poland in 1939. It is also thanks to you, dear veterans, that we have been able to enjoy for 24 years now the taste of freedom that our country had missed for so many decades. As Consul General of the Republic of Poland in Chicago, I want to thank you personally for your beautiful ideals, for your belief in free Poland in times when hope was in short supply, and for your tremendous courage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the brave defenders of our beloved Poland. In order to commemorate these great moments when sons of Poland rose to fight for freedom, my office has already started making plans. Warsaw Uprising of 1944. I'm also very pleased that the Polish Museum of America has agreed to my proposal to curate a special exhibition dedicated solely to those heroes of the Warsaw Uprising who lived in and around Chicago after World War II. At this point, I would like to thank the board of the Polish Museum of America for the many projects that they have done and are doing with the Polish consulate in Chicago, such as the Polish Righteous Among the Nations exhibit or the screenings of the documentaries about Poland, to name just a few. Also, I'm very pleased to announce for the very first time that we are able to donate special funds to the museum as well as to the library directly from the budget of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their projects. So now it's settled. Ladies and gentlemen, on a day like this, when we celebrate our heroes' commitment to our freedom and independence, we remind ourselves that Kazimierz Pulaski's ideals serve as an example to all of us to know how to care of one's country, and showing love and dedication to your own country in this day and age means making sure that each and every one of us, day by day, is a flagging example of integrity, courtesy, and determination to represent Poland's good name in all aspects of life. I would like to thank you all for being with us here today. And I wish you and your families and all the best for the rest of the year. And I hope we will meet all together next year here. Dziękuję bardzo. Wszystkiego dobrego.
For those beautiful words, Council Kapuścińska. We are very happy that you are in Chicago. It is a great honor to have you here. I wonder, this is so high. I wonder, I must be shrinking. I would like to introduce Reverend, I didn't bring my program, Thomas Lubicki, who is the Assistant Director of Holy Trinity Mission, our neighbor, and one of the oldest Polish churches in Chicago, to give the benediction. Father Lubicki.
Najpierw chcę poprowadzić modlitwę po polsku. Wszechmogący Wieczny Boże, racz błogosławić to nasze zebranie. Ucz nas przede wszystkim ofiary i słuchania Ciebie, abyśmy zdobywali wolność. Abyśmy zdobywali wolność przede wszystkim od grzechu, abyśmy potrafili w tym także Wielkim Poście szukać Twego dobra, Twojej nauki, aby niezależność zdobywać, aby uczyć się od naszych wielkich rodaków. Prosimy Cię także o to, abyśmy w tej współpracy polsko-amerykańskiej czynili po prostu lepszy świat. Abyśmy także, tak jak bohater dzisiejszego dnia, Kazimierz Pulaski, w wpłynął na historię, tak abyśmy my wpłynęli na historię drugiego człowieka. Niech was błogosławi Bóg Wszechmogący, Ojciec i Syn i Duch Święty. And now in English. Almighty Father, bless our efforts to reach freedom, especially from sins. Teach us how to fight for human rights, human dignity. Teach us how to make changes in somebody's life, as Kazimierz Pulaski made. Bless American-Polish cooperation to make better world. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. I would like to ask Mrs. Honeycutt, the President of the Polish Women's Alliance, President Spula, Councilka Puścińska, Bishop Vipik, and Brigadier General Kromraj, as well as Mr. Droba, Jan Larish, and myself to be present and hopefully respectfully from our guests for the annual wreath-laying ceremony at the base of the Pulaski Falling at Savannah painting. We'll first start with a photo over here. Oh, and Tim? What, yes. Yes. And Tim, would you join us also, please? Is he coming? Okay. We'll get Tim. So we'll come here for a photo, and then we will walk the wreath to the base of the painting. Okay. Tim and Excellency, Frank, please.